What's going on, guys? Rule Legends TV here, back with another video talking about rare breed triggers and their lawsuit. Where is it at? What do we know? Why haven't we heard much from Lawrence Dominico? Guys, I really appreciate y'all watching. And before we jump into this is going to be a long video, but I need you to watch this thing entirely because we actually hear from Lawrence Dominico and some attorneys. So this is huge, right? We kind of get some answers about a lot of things. And we kind of see what Rare Breed has been doing behind the scenes. So before we get into it, consider hitting that like button. Jump in the comment section down below. Likes and comments really get the algorithm going. It gets it all nice and happy and gets this information out to a lot of people. So please consider hitting that like button. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Give me your opinions, facts that you know, stuff like that. If you're new to the channel, consider hit that subscribe button. I try to stay up on all the rare breed and just all overall 2A news, and then try to get y'all some shooting sports and just overall Second Amendment content. Guys, I really appreciate you watching. Let's dive into this. I'm going to put a clip in here. It's about 8 minutes long. It is a conversation between Michael Cargill, the guy suing the ATF who just won in the Fifth Circuit down in Texas, overturning the bump stock ban. Michael Cargill, his lawyer, Rich something or other, he's with the New Civil Liberties Association. I think that's right. And then Lawrence Dominico. So this was on a radio show. They're all talking, and I want y'all to listen. I literally was about to make a video asking questions about where's Lawrence been, what are they doing, and lo and behold, here's the clip. Here is literally the reason I am last minute changing this video and remaking it. So y'all watch, listen to it in its entirety because it goes over a lot of different things. Chevron deference, the definition of a machine gun, and where Rare Breed falls into this bump stock ban case. So watch, we'll come back and we'll recollect after the video.
He is the president for Rare Breed Triggers. And so he has a couple questions for you. Hey, Lawrence, welcome to Come and Talk It, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
So, Rich, I wouldn't be surprised if you are familiar with my case.
I've certainly heard of it, yes.
Yes. So we originally took up the case in the Middle District of Florida. We ended up getting dismissed without prejudice in the Middle District of Florida. We then refiled in the District of North Dakota, and we were recently dismissed for venue reasons out of North Dakota. We are preparing to refile now, but then I found out about this decision, and this decision that came down on Friday, and that has really changed things. That's moved the needle quite a bit. So we've got to wrap our heads around that and figure out how to, shift fire before we move forward again. But specifically, I've got lots of questions for you. So this decision, I mean, it's quite a bit to read. I've read it 3 or 4 times now. I'm still processing things, but they go so far as to really explain the difference between function and pull, which is fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of good information there. But end result, this decision that throws the bump stock rule out, says it's, null and void. What specifically should people take away from this decision? So if they say the bump stock rule is null and void, and the bump stock rule is a part of 479, does that mean 479 is thrown out the window? A portion of 479 is thrown out the window? Can you kind of, a little deeper than just speaking to the average Joe, can you really explain it a little bit better?
Sure. The final rule issued in 2018 adopted a couple of very specific regulations, one of which was 479.11. And that is the one that redefines what a machine gun is. So the likely outcome of Friday's decision is to invalidate only that regulation. The rest of 479 would not be directly affected.
Okay, that makes good sense. Now, that has changed, and that has significant impact on my case because it was single function of the trigger turned into single pull of the trigger, which turned into single pull and analogous motions. Now it's single continuous pull and analogous motions. So can you talk to us a little bit and explain, well, in my opinion, that if they couldn't tie the statutory definition to a product, well, they attempt to create legislation through executive fiat by just expanding that definition. So single function, which refers to the item, the mechanical item itself and how it operates. And then it's single pull. Well, pull is an external force applied to the mechanical item, the trigger, by the shooter, and then single continuous pull and so forth. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, first of all, there are types of bump stocks that probably will not be affected by this decision on Friday. In particular, the Aiken accelerator, which has mechanical parts. It has a spring that causes the main portion of the weapon to go forward and strike into the trigger finger. That probably is going to be held to be a machine gun.
Now, would that fall into the category like a minigun, that a minigun has a button and the button actually becomes the trigger, or something of that nature, like the Aiken's accelerator, because that's what you're holding, that's what you're using to function moving forward, and it is functioning automatically, that the Aiken's accelerator becomes the trigger. Is it similar in that case?
Yes, certainly there are a number of cases where people push buttons to make the weapon fire more than once. And to me, those weapons clearly are machine guns, because in those cases, the trigger is the button.
Right.
Now, the Aiken's accelerator is a little bit closer case, because even though it has a spring, it is true that every time the gun fires, it's only because the trigger bumps into the trigger finger a separate time.
Right. Now, the Aiken's accelerator case was decided based on deference. Now, I know that deference is it's an issue of its own, and I know the Supreme Court has been looking at that for a long time, but that's completely separate issue than the one that we're currently, dealing with.
Well, the decision on Friday talked about deference quite a bit, and 8 of the 16 judges basically said that when you have a statute that primarily is criminal in nature, that there should be no deference to the interpretation of the government. Rather, what you do is you just do your best job of interpreting the statute without any deference to what executive agencies have said.
And of course, if there's any ambiguity or there's some confusion, then the rule of lenity would apply.
All right, we come back from the break. We'll finish that thought there. Thank you, Rich.
All right, so I've got another question for you, Rich. Reading the decision on Friday, and I've read it 3 or 4 times and really trying to wrap my head around it, but I didn't, although deference was spoken about many times, I didn't see any mention of West Virginia versus the EPA. Can you tell me why that didn't show up?
Well, West Virginia v. EPA didn't say really anything about Chevron deference. It was based on a new concept that the Supreme Court has been espousing in the last couple of years, which basically says that when you have a major question, that the assumption would be that if Congress were granting major new authority to an agency, it would say so explicitly. And the presumption is that if Congress hasn't given that authority, the presumption is that it didn't give the authority. So in West Virginia versus EPA, the question was, did EPA have this broad authority to basically wipe out the power industry in terms of coal-fired plants? And the Supreme Court said, no, they don't have that authority, because that's such a major change that if Congress had wanted to give that authority, they would have said so. I don't think that the major questions doctrine is at all implicated by our case, because whether or not a new fairly minor device like a bump stock is going to be banned is not such a major question that it would have to have been spelled out explicitly. Rather, what you do is you look at the statute and you do your best to interpret it, which is what the Fifth Circuit did, and it interpreted the statute our way.
All right, great answer. Thank you.
All right, guys. So there it is. Lawrence asked some really good questions to Rich. Rich is the lawyer, who was fighting this case as the lawyer for Michael Cargill, and they got the victory. Right, they won the day, and so it's good to see that Rare Breed and Lawrence Dominico are doing these things and talking to victorious lawyers and finding out information that they can get from them. I encourage you to check out this video, Team American North or Team American Midwest. Link the video. I will link the video in the description box below. Check it out in its entirety. It's about an hour long, but it's got a lot of good information in there. This gives me hope. It gives me hope for the Rare Breed case, because not only do we now have the Fifth Circuit decision in bump stocks that's going to help us out. It also shows that Rare Breed has not given up. They're still in this fight. They're not just trying to fly under the radar to escape from the community like other manufacturers and stuff have done in the past when the ATF comes down. So he even said it himself. They were about to refile their lawsuit, and then he heard about the case and he went, "Whoa, let me find out some more information. Let me figure out what's going on and go from there." So that's super exciting. I hope after this comes down with the Fifth Circuit Court, and if it goes to the Supreme Court, we kind of hang back and see, and then if necessary, Rare Breed comes out swinging and really gets some good people involved, maybe gets the NCLA and Rich and them involved for their lawsuit, and tries to get this crap knocked out and go in our favor. It's gonna be a wait and see kind of game here, guys, but be optimistic. Rare Breed's still fighting, and they're still hanging around, and so that's good in my opinion. I think we're in good shape. I just completely had to redo this video. Like I said, if you made it this far into the video, go ahead, hit that like button. I really appreciate y'all. We're excited. The folks that I'm around in the community are excited about this, and hopefully one day soon, FRTs will be back on the market full bore, and nobody has to worry about anything, and nobody has to worry about if a post is a honeypot, or if a seller on gun broker glows or anything like that. We're on the right track. I really think we are, and this is big news. This is huge for us. This is going to have huge ramifications down the line, and I'm super excited about it. So guys, I'm gonna cut it off there. I know this was kind of long. I do apologize. I appreciate you watching to the end. If you made it this far, jump in the comment section down below. Tell me you made it to the very end, and if you do, might have a special something for all of y'all who make it to the end of this video. Just have to find out. Go ahead and jump in that comment section. Guys, y'all know the deal. Stay armed, stay safe, keep your heads on swivel. Oder doom, y'all be good. We'll see you in the next one.